I did try to get help in college. I went to the University Mental Health Center and they put me into a therapy group for depression, mostly because I didn't really know how to describe my problems besides saying that I felt depressed. And also, I really wasn't able, even then, to admit my real fears to anybody. I remember the other group members told me that my problem was that I just never said anything. I tried also at the time to find books, but even books on anxiety didn't seem to describe the feelings that I was having. And I can remember trying just to change my thoughts myself because I knew I was thinking negatively all the time. So I did try to change my thoughts to be more positive, but even something like that was really hard to maintain. So usually I would quit. Just trying to do that I found very exhausting mentally. It's funny to think of a lot of these things now, but of course back then it didn't seem so funny. A lot of the things I think that people are supposed to do in college, whether or not they're true, I know that I never did them. I didn't go on dates. I didn't have a girlfriend because I was too nervous to. I was nervous about looking nervous in front of a girl, and I felt worthless myself. So I pretty much figured once they figured out I was worthless, it wouldn't last long anyway. I never drank. I was too nervous to go into bars. I never went to parties. I never missed a morning class unless, of course, I was exercising for a presentation. I never went to a football game. I never got involved in any study groups. I didn't want to be sitting around with other students talking about things. I rarely went to the library. I preferred to study in these smaller study rooms in my dormitory. Uh, I never used the main computer lab because I was too nervous about walking around in such a big room with so many people and having to ask questions or not knowing what line to stand in, that sort of thing. I didn't know my professors. Certainly, I didn't go to their office hours to ask any questions. And I didn't talk to a guidance counselor until I absolutely had to in my senior year because it was mandatory to discuss graduation requirements. I don't list these things because they're so important individually. I just list them to show how anxiety limits us in so many areas of life. This is how my life was, and this is how I thought about myself, so it's really no mystery to see why I was depressed all the time. The worst habit I had during college, which was a carryover from high school, was beating myself up and putting myself down. The word I used for myself over and over again was loser. That's something I would just say repeatedly to myself, especially when I was alone. I thought that I couldn't do things. I thought I'd have no future. I thought I'd never have a girlfriend, like I said, and I thought I would never change. I can remember telling myself not to get too excited or too happy about anything because I didn't deserve happiness. That's a thought again that I had, that if I felt happy, then I thought that something bad would come of it. So I tried to keep myself from getting too excited about most things. Saying these things sounds pretty drastic, almost bizarre or unreal now, but this is really what I thought, even though I wasn't consciously aware of it all the time. My friends and my family would never have known this about me either. I would have been too embarrassed to tell them, pretty much too embarrassed to admit it even to myself. But this was my state of mind back then. This is the simple way to describe what I was thinking if I had to describe it. By my senior year in college, all I knew was that I wanted to graduate and to get out. I didn't want to be in classroom situations anymore. My anxiety had spread from being only in the classroom to being in some other situations too, which included my friends and family. So that also sort of freaked me out and made me even more depressed. I can remember in my last year of college, I had a Chevrolet Suburban, and when I got really nervous sometimes or jittery, I would drive the car off campus and spend the night sleeping in the car, I think just as a way to sort of get away from myself and to, not be around the feelings all the time. After college, to make a long story short, I had various jobs and I did fine at those jobs, but I found it very difficult to go after jobs which pushed my anxiety buttons. Certainly I wasn't very aggressive about finding jobs either. Fast forward to about 2 years ago, When I stopped my last job, I just basically, nothing in my life had changed me. Going to college, having different jobs, getting older, nothing had changed me. Uh, I remember feeling more and more limited. I remember even talking to a friend, the typical conversation, like, what would you do if you win the lottery? And secretly, I remember thinking the only reason I really wanted to win the lottery was so that I wouldn't have to see people anymore. And that was a really pathetic, depressing thought even for me at the time. And I knew that even if I did win the lottery, I just wouldn't really be happy unless I started dealing with these problems. And so about the same time is when I began to look for information online, and I found the Social Anxiety Institute's website. So in my next video, I will discuss my experiences since starting the audio therapy series.